The second topic is, hey, he wanted to give blah, 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 $10,000 straight up, and then the owner wouldn't allow it. Okay, great. And again, this might also be an unpopular opinion. And I'm assuming this person that he wanted to give the $10,000 to is probably the smoker? The guy, probably the smoker, the guy that cooks, right?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's co-owner.
Okay.
I don't know if he is, but he is almost like the main face of Smokehouse.
Okay, great. And again, this might be an unpopular answer, but I'm just giving you the answer as I see it from my frame of reference. The burden of running the business and the burden of failure and the risk factor of opening that business belongs to who?
The owner.
The owner, right? It's not like the owner went around and talked to the smoker and the regular line cooks and all of the waitresses and says, hey, I'm going to need a combination of about $100,000 from each and one of you in order to help me open this thing. Did he do that? No, he didn't. Okay. Who put up the money? Who takes the risk? Great. The money should funnel through his business. Period. I know that's an unpopular opinion. I know that is an unpopular take, probably. But if you've ever owned a business, you would understand that is the right answer. Now, if the owner wants to take that $10,000 and be like, hey, here you go, then awesome for him. If the owner wants to take the $10,000 and give him $5,000 and keep $5,000 for the business, then that's on him. He bears the risk of the business. He put up the time, the energy, the money, put his mortgage up, his house, his second, personal loans, credit cards. He took the risk. The owner took the risk, right? If you want to be able to have someone just walk up to you and give you $10,000, right? And you want to be able to have the responsibility to just take the $10,000 and not have to worry about it, right? Then you should go do your own thing and take the same burden, right? That's the way it should be. Now, there's a caveat to that. Here's the caveat. And again, I'm just proving that I am open to different things and I understand that there is not a one-size-fits-all for every scenario, okay? If we're talking about a waiter at McDonald's, a billion-dollar corporation that runs on franchising, and you know those guys aren't hurting for money, bro. If you can buy a McDonald's, you're doing pretty good. Right. And you probably don't have one. You probably have a few, right? And you have a waiter that goes there and he's an absolute stud and you want to give him $10,000, then give the waiter $10,000. That $10,000 that you give to the waiter isn't going to affect McDonald's corporate or that franchisor or franchisee in any way, shape, or form. You know it and I know it. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about a family-owned business. And that is the difference. There's a caveat. There's a difference. Give you an example. Okay. I go to Five Guys, okay? Love Five Guys, right? Because again, I only eat meat, fruit, raw dairy, and honey. So, no bun. They have bacon there. It's perfect. I get a regular Five Guys burger, 2 extra patties, extra slice of cheese, bacon with nothing on it, and it's delicious.
Like $22.
Like whatever it is, okay? So Five Guys is my jam, right? In-N-Out doesn't have bacon, and their patties are kind of small when you take away everything else. I don't know, people notice that. But anyways, not that I'm saying I don't like In-N-Out, by the way. But anyways, Five Guys is, you give me an option, I'll go to Five Guys. I walk in here at the local Five Guys. There's a worker there. His name is, oh my God, he even told me his name. Gosh darn it, I feel terrible forgetting his name, man, because I love this kid. I love this. Anyways, doesn't matter. Anyways, I walk into Five Guys the first time, one day. And there's this kid on the register. Minute I walk in. Hey, sir, how are you? Welcome to Five Guys, man. Thanks for being here today. I kid you not. That's literally the minute I opened the door. I wasn't even at the register, right? Little black kid with dreads, dude. Hey, sir, how are you? A man, biggest smile, bro. Enthusiasm, happy. Like, dude, I walked in, bro, and I was like, I feel amazing now. Like, was his energy. Yeah. Hey, sir, how are you? Welcome to Five Guys. Thanks for being here, man. How can I help you? Step on up. Like, literally, it was like that, bro. I was like, the minute I got up to the register, I was like, I love your energy. Because I love people like that. I love people like that. I mean, and literally, the minute I went up to the register, I'm like, I love your energy, man. What's your name? And he gave me his name. And I was like, hey, my name is Jimmy, right? He's like, hey, he shook my hand. He's like, man, what can I help you with, man? What can I do you for? I'm like, hey, I need this, I need that, yada, yada. He made such an impression on me in that one-time visit that before I left, I went up to the manager. I said, hey, man, can you let me know who the manager is? He says, yeah, man. Hey, is everything okay? I'm like, no, man, I just need to talk to him. Perfect. So he told me who the managing guy was at the Five Guys. Mm-hmm. So the manager came out. He's like, hey, sir, is there a problem? No, man. No problem at all. I just wanted to give you some feedback and my 2 cents, if you don't mind. He's like, no, not at all. And I said, listen, man, I don't know what that young man over there. I'm like, I don't know where you got him from, man. And I don't know how long he's been here. I just want to comment on the fact that he is absolutely unbelievably amazing. His energy is intoxicating. He's fantastic. I just want you to know that. I want you to know that I don't know what's happening, and I'm not saying other workers aren't great. I'm just telling you is that kid right there is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I said the experience he gives customers, man, is second to none. He's like, oh, thanks, man. He's like, man, that's the nicest thing anyone's ever said. I said, I just wanted you to know, man. That's all. So anything you can do for him, do it, right? Anyways, I was in a hurry. I don't ever carry cash. You know that. Ended up leaving. I came back, I don't need out a lot. So I came back maybe, let's call it a month later, maybe even a month and a half later. And I happened to have some cash with me, a few $100s with me that day for whatever the reason, I remember. I walk in, boom, he's there again. He's sweeping floors, bro. He's moving tables. He's not on the register, Rich. Mm-hmm. I walk in. Guess who yells out, welcome to Five Guys. Thanks for being, guess who yells out? He does while he's sweeping. While he's moving tables, he's not even on the register. I walk in, he's sweeping, stops sweeping. He's like, hey, sir, welcome to Five Guys, man. Thanks for coming in. We really appreciate it. You know what I mean? Walk right on up to the register, man. She'll take care of you. She got you over there. I was like, dude is just next level, bro. Next level. I said, hey, man, what's going on? I remembered his name. I feel terrible not remembering his name, man. So I walk up and I shake his hand. I say, hey, man, what's up? Whatever his name was. Because I'm pretty decent with names. And he's like, oh, man, you know my name? I said, yeah, man, you remember last time? He's like, oh, yeah, I remember you, man. Like, yeah, you had some nice things to say about me. I said, yeah, man, what's going on? Are you good? You getting there? Anyways, so we shook it up, chopped it up a little bit. I ordered my food. I ate. After I finished eating, I was with my son, actually. After I finished eating, I took out money, and I think it was probably $300, maybe $400, something like that. And here's the difference. And maybe I'm right and maybe I'm wrong. I called over the manager and I said, hey, man, I don't know if you remember me. I told you about last time. And he says, yeah, I remember. He says, I remember you. You mentioned, what's his name last time, right? And then after he did that, I said, hey, man, I want to run something by you just out of respect for the company, obviously. He says, yeah, what's up? I said, hey, man, I want to give him a tip, a direct tip. Is that okay with you? He's like, oh, yeah, man, go ahead. Whatever you want to give him, man. Like, we have nothing to do with that. And maybe that's the difference, right? I had respect. And Five Guys, you would agree, it's a $1 billion company, right? But even then, I still had respect. So it's just a simple question, man. Simple communication, Rich. Like, hey, man, do you mind if I? And the manager's like, hey, man, go ahead. Whatever you give him, man, like, we're not going to touch it. Awesome. And then I gave the money to my son. I said, hey, go give him the $300. He's like, you're going to give him a $300 tip? I said, yes, we're going to give him a $300 tip. I said, why do you think we're going to give him a $300 tip? He's like, because his service is awesome. Even my kid's like 13, dude. My kid was like, because his service is awesome. I said, what makes him awesome? He's like, dude, the dude's always in a good mood. Every time we walk in, like, he's shaking hands. He's wishing, like, me and my 13-year-old kid was like, this is awesome. Yeah. So gave him a $300 tip, dude. Dude gave me a hug, thanked me. I don't know what he's got going on in his life, but I'm hoping the $300 helped him. My point is, right, that is the difference between people that love life in general. Let's forget about his job. That dude loves life, dude. Right? Like, there's something happening. Like, that dude just loves life. But to circle back on this whole tip thing of the owner keeping it, not keeping it, right? I think the difference was that I went up to go talk to the manager. And again, obviously, I can't talk to the owner of Five Guys, right? I can't talk to the manager. I just went up and asked. Simple communication. Like, hey, man, do you mind if I give him a tip? No, man. Go ahead. Do your thing. And that was the difference.
As far as I know, he did go up to the owner.
Sure.
Because the owner's not busy cooking, right? He's
sure.
busy
managing, talking to people.
All that stuff. So from what I remember of the video, he did go and ask the owner,
sure,
can I give this tip to
sure.
Tenderness? And he said no, he's busy and wouldn't take it.
Yeah.
Because he's had times in the past where he's given the owner, hey, I want $10,000. This is for the barber. This is for the cook or whatever. There was like some black-owned business that was doing like a combo thing, and it came out that I think it was like a couple months later that the owner never told anybody about
sure.
the money and just pocketed for herself, sure. and like not even giving a little bit to whatever, because he ended up paying for like 30 people's haircuts and then like 30 people's meals or something like that, and then gave the tip. So now he makes it a point of like, I'm handing this directly to the person.
Sure.
If not, then it's not going to the business.
Sure.
Right. I don't know what happens after that. If it's like, if he's like, hey, none of this can go to anybody else. I've worked in a restaurant, not as a bouncer.
Sure.
But you do have this whole thing where when you get a tip, the tip isn't 100% yours.
Yeah, it goes into the till.
You have to go. Yeah, it has to pay everybody.
Goes into a pool.
Like you get the majority of it, but you need to pay because it's not just you. It's like
sure.
If you're the waiter, you have to pay the cooks.
Sure.
That tip is going to the cooks. It's going to the busser. It's going to the bouncer. It's going to the hostess. Right. Everyone gets tipped when you get tipped.
Sure.
So it's like I do understand that. That makes sense. It's like it's unfair to everybody else in the process to give one person the only tip.
Yeah.
Because it's like you can't. I mean, it'd be like it'd be like the owner taking all the earnings for the day and not paying his people.
Yeah.
Right. It's the same type of thing.
Like this would be a better option, right? Like, so if I'm the owner and I want to solve for that, right? So you get attacked like that anymore, or I don't make it seem like I don't want to take care of my people, blah, 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 blah. There's always a way, right? Like you never lack resources, you lack resourcefulness, right? For the most part. So great. If I'm the owner, what do I do and how do I do it? Here's how I would do it. I would put together like a massive tip jar, like a big ass mason jar, right? And it would be, I would make the tip jar say something like, if our employees are awesome, let them know here. Something like that, right? And I would literally, I would advertise that, right? And what I mean by advertise is I don't mean put out a meta ad or anything like that. I mean, like, when I'm there as the owner, I would let people know what it is for. Yeah. Say, hey, listen, just so you know, it is not mandatory, but we do get a lot of people here that come in and want to tip this person or that person. Listen, every employee here is amazing. The reason you're getting awesome service is because they're all awesome. Not just one person. It's a machine here, right? So, hey, listen, we came out with this really cool way. There's a massive tip jar over there. If you think our employment or if you think our service is awesome, do me a favor. Feel free to drop a tip in there. Whatever you want. You don't have to. It is not mandatory. You could just come here and great service and give us nothing. We're happy to have your business. We really appreciate it. We hope you keep coming back. But if you feel compelled to leave something, go leave it in that big tip jar. And then just so you know, that tip jar does not go to the business at all. Every one of the tips that goes in there and whatever the accumulation of that money is, all of it 100% equally gets dispersed to every employee. It does not go to the ownership team. We really appreciate it. That's the way to do it. Yeah. Does that make sense?
And that's how it is.
Like, that's the way to do it.
It's not as front facing as restaurants, but that's what happens.
Typically, yes.
When you tip somebody,
yes, that is correct.
It goes into the pool.
That is correct.
Even when it's
yep.
card or whatever. So it's like, but I do also understand if I want to give someone specific a tip because like it's my money. I've already paid for my food. Like I've technically paid for the service already. I want to give this specific person this much money. And I don't want it to go to the owner. Like, I appreciate the owner for doing his thing.
Sure.
This is for the person that gave me the experience. From like, I should be able to spend my money the way that I want,
So now, this is a perfect segue into why what I just told you, how he should do it, is the answer. Because in that scenario, right? In that scenario that you just highlighted, like I should be able to, yeah, sure, you can do that all day long, right? But if you had a system like that in place, what that system does, Rich, is it creates a culture of this is how we're going to accept money and we are a team. So when you put a system like that in place and it becomes standard protocol and it becomes part of the culture of that business, and this is the way we operate, and this is the way we all make more money and get tips and get paid by all of us providing great service, from the cook all the way down to the guy cleaning the bathrooms, bro. Does that make sense? Like there's not any single one of us that is any more or less important. Does that make sense? Yeah. And if that is truly the culture you've created with that system that I just gave you, guess what? When you go to that cook and say, or that waitress, let's just say it's a cook. When you go to that cook and said, hey, that experience was great. Here's $1,000. Do you know what that cook's going to tell you? When you create that culture, do you know what that cook's going to tell you?
Oh, it was not just the whole experience is the whole thing.
That's right. And where is he going to want you to put that $1,000? In the jar. That's my point.
Yeah.
My point is that by creating that environment and that system, you inevitably take that scenario that you just talked about and never have to worry about it, because you can go to anyone individually and say, I want to give you the $100. And you know what that person's going to tell you? Hey, man, I really appreciate it. I'm so glad that you're happy. And I can't thank you enough, and I really appreciate it. if you don't mind, the best thing you can do for me is, because we're all a team here, is I'm gonna go ahead and take that dollars and I'm gonna put it in the jar because we all deserve it. You mean to tell me that a customer's gonna be like, no, I don't want you to do that. You think you're not?
I think there would be some,
yeah.
for the most part, no.
Very few, Rich.
Very few.
You know what most customers would really say to something like that? Now I understand why the service is so great.
Yeah.
Now I understand why the service is so great. You create it as part of your culture. You create a system. So you inevitably, in creating that system, you stop that from happening. It's a win-win, bro.
Oh yeah, like I agree for the most part. I mean, most of the part, probably 80%. I with such a high value of like 4K, 10K, whatever, like that amount of money, like okay, that's a lot. A couple $100, that's not gonna change too much. I feel like just knowing Tenderness, the black guy, I feel like he would have distributed it. I could have swore he was co-owner.
Yeah. Why even put him in that situation though? But
why even put him in that situation? That's
the other
thing. That's what I was gonna say. Is it does put you in an awkward situation of like, okay, I was given $4,000. Like it's not just me. Like, he's a character. Like he definitely livens it up. He goes and sits down and talks to people just like the owner does, or the co-owner. I have to look it up now. I have no idea. But he's like they have a Menifee one and a Murrieta one. And they're both at both, you know. But I think they're more at the Murrieta one because it's more popular.
I've never seen the one in Menifee's. Where's it at?
I couldn't tell you exactly. I know it's a much smaller place.
Okay, got it.
Much smaller place. Like the one here is like 3-4 times as big because it's you know, it used to be a pizza place, but they're here a lot. Every time that we've gone, they're there. So I don't know who they have at that place.
Yeah, I get it.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like he's the type of dude that he would have distributed it a little bit. But then it's like, yeah, like why put him?
Why even put him in that situation? Yeah.
But at the same time, just because of knowing what's happened in the past with Keith Lee, it's like it's like if you donate something or you give to charity, and you find out that charity didn't even give to the organization that it said it was going to, or it didn't go towards this, or you know your clothes ended up being put back onto the rack for someone else to buy instead of giving to somebody that's in need like you intended. It's like you feel like, oh man, like shit.
Well, I mean, I think there's a distinct difference though in that scenario, right? What you're describing there is a charity. It's in the name, charity. It's in the name, right? The difference in that scenario that you described is that they are meant to do that, right? Like it's in the name. That is what's supposed to happen. That is why they are a charity, right? Destination Smokehouse is not a charity. Right? It is a business. There's a very distinct line between the two, right? At a charity, that is what they tell you they do. There is a very clear definition of what we're going to do with this money. So when they don't do that money, I mean, I hate to say this, but that's illegal, right? Like that doesn't make it a charity, right? Like that makes it a fraud scheme, right? And you're going to get shut down for that. There's laws against that. My point is there's a very clear distinction.